Okay, in my last video I tried to answer the first 2 or 3 questions that AZ Superman 01 had posted to Christians, and basically the title of his segment is Tough Questions for Christians. And I didn't get to finish off. I'm going to start off and I'm going to finish the last 2 questions real quick. The question, or video number 4, the question was, do you really think you need to be tortured? Basically he's asking Christians if people who are unregenerate, do they really need to be tortured? And his perception of torture, I think, was a little off. I think it wasn't nearly as severe as what he was thinking. But he compared these tortures to a movie called Hostel. And I watched that movie a long time ago. I think they even actually have a second Hostel. And if I remember correctly, it's about a few kids who go to another country and they are trapped into a business where people pay other people to punish their captives. So these people go in, you know, with guns and drills and scaffolds and they cut people up and they just torture them. They dismember their limbs, they gouge their eyes out, they burn their faces, whatever they can think of. People pay big money. You know, I think one guy paid $10,000 and he was trying to debate where he should just shoot the guy or if he should go in there and slice him up, whatever he wanted to do. And what the Bible teaches us about eternal damnation is one of the main things, obviously, is a pit of brimstone and fire. It's a place of eternal burning, I guess you would say, where the cup of God's wrath is poured out on you in a way of eternal torture. I don't think I've ever read anything in the Bible where there's limbs getting cut off and eyes getting gouged out. But I'll tell you something, and I've told many of my Mormon friends this, and the idea of hell and fire and brimstone, that's not even the important part that needs to be understood. That's not even the scary part. The scary part for a Christian being in hell should be this: you are being separated from a holy, perfect, magnificent God. You're being separated from your Creator, an all-loving being who his whole desire is to love you, because God is love, and his whole desire is to see the happiness of his creation and to see himself perfected in them. And so people go, you know, a lot of preachers preach on fire and hell, and it's almost like a scare tactic, and they never mention being separated from God and becoming a curse. And if you read the Bible and look up the biblical definition of cursed in the Bible, you'll see it's a terrible thing. It's far worse, in my opinion, than brimstone and fire. So to answer your question, do people deserve that type of punishment? My answer is absolutely. I think that a person who lives day to day, every single day, like you, like me, whose heart is continually wicked, and that's Scripture, whose heart is evil from a babe, that's Scripture, who day to day, every single day, every other thought is completely against the glory of God, then yes, you deserve an eternity in brimstone and fire. So yes, that's a punishment that we all most definitely do deserve, and we all would receive that type of punishment if it wasn't for Christ's death on the cross and his substitutionary atonement for our terrible sins. There's nothing we can do to escape it. It was because of God and his grace and his free gift to us that we can actually find peace and happiness in being Christians and possibly one day entering into a kingdom with a holy God. The last question that I actually was able to check out was, what is the purpose for hell? And basically he gave 3 reasons why a person would be punished. Like a person would go to jail, they're sentenced for 3 or 4 years. It's supposed to be a correctional type thing. They go in, they're rehabilitated, for instance. They come out, they're supposed to be a better person. And he gave 2 other types of instances, and I can't remember them off the top of my head. But basically he's saying that hell really doesn't serve a purpose, especially since men go to heaven, we can't die. you know, those people burning, you know, it serves no justice. And the thing that I wanted to point out is God's glory will be shown through his wrath. His magnificence, his perfection will be shown through the wrath that he pours upon the people who didn't accept him for who he is and didn't give him his glory. And God will be glorious no matter what. And I think that punishment is part of his glory. It's part of his perfection. And those people will burn eternally. And it's just part of his perfectness in being our God. He's the creator of not only space but also time. So you're talking about a God who's laid out this plan, and he couldn't start all this and say there will be no punishment for those who sin against me and who don't accept me. There has to be a punishment. I mean, it'd be like us not having a law. It'd be like us just walking around just, you know, what would the world be like? For instance, I'll give you two examples. What would the world be like without law, and what would the world be like without religion? Most people think, well, it would be a perfect world. They're wrong. A world without religion and a world without law would be chaos, because people would not fear. They wouldn't fear God. They wouldn't fear law. They wouldn't fear punishment. And that's what hell is. It's a punishment. And if they didn't fear it, there would be no resistance, and they would do whatever they wanted. You wouldn't be able to walk the streets. You wouldn't be able to live in peace. It would be hell on earth. It would be a punishment in itself. So that is the purpose for hell. And AZ Superman 01, I'm going to try to answer the rest of your questions if I can get to them. I'll try to pick out the more important ones that need to be answered. I appreciate you posting those once again. Everybody who's checking these out, please subscribe, check out my page, comment. Let me know what you think. I'll do my best to respond. If you watching these videos all the way through, I appreciate it. God bless.